All right, unfortunate outcome. I really tip my hat to the caliber of arm they ran at us, and I think we punched out 11 of our last 13 at bats, which is difficult. And if you're going to have that sort of offensive performance, you've got to do something to offset it on the mound. And we did not command the ball well overall. And I know when you're on a new mound, you get your 8 pitches to figure out what this thing feels like, and you got to jump on the horse and go. I don't think it was a lack of effort. It was not clean execution of anything. In the 3rd inning, I believe 8 of the 9 guys, I think we got the leadoff out, and then 8 of the next 9 reached base, and the game is decided in the beginning in most cases, and that was the key, that inning. Meeble, we've had success with him. He didn't really seem to have a secondary pitch in play, and it kind of got away from him, and they got to some of those fastballs, and we just could not evade that inning. I think the 0-2 pitch with Kinnear was a split changeup that didn't really get out of the zone. We just didn't command it, pitch it, feel it. It was tough to figure out what was going on behind the plate. It was kind of an awkward zone, and Carnesy was grinding through some of that. I think we have to be cleaner there, and I feel like at times a little bit of the inexperience and some of the guys being in this situation for the first time, there were some unusual little mistakes that we made that I think once these guys have gone through this sort of experience, they'll be better for it. And it's going to be a tough bus ride, but they'll grow from it and we'll be better. I thought Stokes, the first 2 hitters, the lefties, he came in and looked as good as we've seen him, and then he had to labor through it a little bit, but it was good to see signs of him performing. And Fisher had a big hit, and there was more to be had, but again, you do have to respect the quality of arm that they ran out there. Really, all 6 of the guys did a pretty good job, but the back end, that bullpen's is pretty impressive.
Does that feel like, go ahead.
Starting John, was your plan kind of to throw him for a certain amount of pitches, leave him?
Exactly what we did, and it wasn't quite as sharp. Like the ball was not down in the bottom of the zone like we'd seen it. We built him up to be a starter, and it didn't get to the finish line for him to start. But he wanted this opportunity, and one way or another, we knew he was going to pitch, and we wanted him to have a chance to come down here and actually start a game. He's been so good out of the bullpen. He started games for us before, but we knew this would be good for him to just do what he needed to do to get loose and go out there and enter the game as a starter instead of a leverage role. It just wasn't quite as sharp and down like we had seen it with the fastball.
Was Minka a question at all? I remember you said he was a little tender.
Yeah, he has not bounced back. So he's still out right now. Nothing big, but he's out.
They talked about their arms that they threw, the stuff they had. How much of it was their stuff? How much of it was pitch recognition all right in your mind?
When you're seeing fastballs in the upper 90s and then secondary pitches that are upper 80s to 90, it plays off the fastball, and then you have to commit a little bit more in recognizing that and making a decision on what to lay off of, or quite frankly, in this case, even some of the fastballs, I felt like we almost tried to match the velocity with what we were doing at the plate, and that can be completely counterproductive. I saw that at times, and our guys did a good job with the scouting reports. We knew exactly what it was. That doesn't make it easy to hit, but I thought we tried to match it a little bit and gear up a little, and then that plays into really coming out of your mechanics, and then the secondary pitches, you become a little more vulnerable to those too because you're doing more to try to get to the fastball.
Although the pitching wasn't where it needed to be tonight, was there any positives that you saw that you could use moving forward?
Well, I thought Stokes, facing the lefties, he hadn't looked quite as sharp against the left-handed hitter. So to come in and get the first 2 lefties and punch those guys out, that was great. And we need to just keep getting him out there and getting him comfortable and getting him some more experience. So that would have been the bright side of things. And the way we pitched, I felt like we're in far more danger of giving up beyond the 6 runs. So there was still a game to be had, but by any stretch, it wasn't clean and well executed on our side.
Your middle infield, it's through the weekend and now it seems more solid than it has through the season. Is this kind of a middle infield that you're planning on keeping there?
Well, those guys know what they're doing, and Eli hasn't played a ton of second base, but he's getting there, and he did a nice job on the 4-6-3 double play. He's a bigger guy, so some of the nuances of that position that you sometimes see your smaller, quicker athletes have an easier time with. Like he's getting there, and his double play pivots have been better. He's starting to piece together good at bats, which I thought he did it early too. There just was nothing to show for it. So things are starting to turn a little bit, and it looks like there's more going his way right now. But he works hard, and Fish knows what he's doing. Fish could play any of the positions, so that's solid. We do have other guys that can do it too.
On having other guys, I mean, you have so much versatility. In a way, does it make it kind of harder? I mean, you have guys like Frazier, who we haven't seen out there in a few games, and he's so talented.
Yeah, it is tricky, and at some point you want to make sure that the guys can play their positions at an extremely high level and learn the details by being out there and feeling what it's like to play with that specific group of infielders. So I don't know that we're there yet. Frazier's beat up, so he can't play, and these are our options, and Estes is not healthy to play, so this is fine. McCulley can go out there and help too. Then you look to the offensive side and who can deliver for you consistently, whether it's at the plate, on the bases, the combination of those two to try to create a more cohesive offensive look.
Although it wasn't the result you wanted tonight, what do you tell the guys moving forward in order to build momentum as you guys get into ACC play?
Well, they need to be comfortable in this environment. I don't think there's a lot of young guys that haven't been through this that played, especially on the position side. So take this in. I didn't think anything really fazed them. I do think the quality of the stuff for some of them, seeing repeated at-bats with different arms of that caliber that are throwing 100 miles an hour, like you have to file that away and learn and not try to match it and do too much. I think we got into a little spell where we were almost trying to match it. So they're going to have to learn from that, because we will see more of this weekend. Wake's got a really talented pitching staff.
With so many new players, do you think that like the freshmen and the transfers really felt the rivalry?
I do. Like they know what this is about, and there's more of this coming. Not just with this group, but there's a lot of things that create intensity within the conference and other midweek games and things you deal with in the postseason. So this is a good piece of it. They know the rivalry. They feel it, and it doesn't take a lot when you walk in here to understand what it's like and that everybody's into this. So they're just going to have to learn how to play cleaner and better in this against that type of stuff.